Hi everyone, this is Fiona. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of creating the envelope folio. So I'm just showing you a quick flip through of what we've done so far. So the first thing I'm going to do is to decorate the cover. So I just had a couple of die cuts that I found, which are not part of the kit. These were ones that I purchased. And I found them in my stash and thought that they might look really nice um, on this cover. So I didn't end up using the flowers because I thought that they were kind of too big. But I did end up using the word memories on there. And I just brought out a piece of that fabric that I used earlier on the spine piece. This is the little piece that I had left over, so I decided to use that on the cover as well. It's always good to keep even the tiniest pieces that you have left over because you never know where you might want to put them. I just tried out that piece of lace, but it was a little bit too large, so I'm just looking for some more lace. And I actually found this nice little piece of, I think it's called broderie anglaise, with that nice bit of embroidery on there, so I decided to use that. Just to add a little something behind the word there. And now I'm just going through deciding what else I might want to add on there. So I ended up cutting out one of the clocks. This is on the free printable that I had in my Facebook group last week. It's also part of the Easter kit. The freebie is in the Facebook group, but it's also on my website, which you will find the links in the description. So I decided to make a little cluster down the bottom left-hand side of the page as well, to add some more elements. Just tearing up that little piece of paper. And then I wanted to add a butterfly, so I'm cutting out one of the butterflies. Now I've actually sped up this video to twice the speed. So that's why I'm doing a voiceover, because if I had have finished this off at normal speed, I well, obviously would have been twice as long. So you can see how long it actually takes to create these types of things, especially when you haven't already pre-made any of the things to go in there. So you're just sort of making it up as you go along. Yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort because, you know, we're always trying different things and seeing what it looks like. And if it doesn't look good, we change it up, and it just takes a bit of time. I was just altering my light there because it was night time, and I thought there might have been too many shadows, so I was just trying to get some better light. So I'm going to be doing some more mass making videos where we're mass making different elements to go into our projects. So then they're just all sort of ready to go, and it makes things a lot quicker. And that's what I'll be doing after we finish this project. I'll be doing a lot more little sort of little mini mass makes of things, and that just helps to speed up your especially your journal making projects. So I've made a little cluster down there with that the few things that I've cut out and that little piece of fabric, and then I decided it was a bit too tall, so I ripped it down a little bit more. Add a little bit more of that nice lace down the side there. So I'm just basically seeing what it all looks like before I could actually glue it down. I thought the fabric was a little bit dark on its own, so I wanted something a little bit lighter behind it. So I'm just trying to decide. Thought about using that music paper there, but I think I changed back to the original idea that I had. So yeah, this is what takes all the time, but you know, and this folio, I think I will put it up for sale in my Etsy shop, so, and possibly on my website. So yeah, if anyone wants this little Easter folio for a gift or to document your Easter, which we've just had, that will be up for sale. And I'm not sure how I'm going to price it yet, but it's kind of hard because some people think that, you know, junk journals and paper crafts are quite expensive, but then as you can see, when you see all the work that goes in behind it and the amount of hours that you actually put into it, and I mean, this isn't even a complete journal. They can often take days. And this little thing here took me 3 hours in total, I think. And so, you know, I mean, obviously I'm not going to like sort of go, well, I'm going to charge $20 an hour and it's going to cost $60 because I think that would be a bit ridiculous. But I mean, I sell some of my journals for that price, but usually a little bit more. But then, you know, there's people that sell their journals for probably three times more than what I sell mine for. But you know, I may put say $20–25 on this one, and I'm talking Australian dollars, not US dollars. If it was US dollars, it would be, well, nearly double that price. So yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I will put it in my Etsy shop and on my website, just in case somebody wants to purchase it. Okay, so I think I've finally made a decision here, and I thought that the larger butterfly looked better down in this bottom corner here. So I cut that one out and glued it down. I'm using mostly my tacky glue throughout this project. It's actually quite strong. Here I'm just adding a little bit of bling to the butterfly. This is just a really cheap piece of embellishments that you can buy in any sort of cheap art and craft shop. And I've had that one for years. Even though I seem to have used it a lot, I've still got a lot left. So adds a little something. Yeah, the tacky glue is quite strong, and it I think any brand of tacky glue is fine. Mine's just a cheap brand. You'll see later I end up gluing down one of the clay bunnies that we made, and when it was all dry and finished, that's not going anywhere. It's glued on very, very tightly with that tacky glue. Okay, so we'll finish it off with the little cluster at the top here. So I'm just putting down a tiny piece of paper there behind the butterfly. Just helps the butterfly to stand out on top of the clock, flowers on the clock there. And just patting off the excess glue. So I was deciding whether to hang the little bunny off there or one of the Easter eggs. I ended up First of all, I just put the little safety pin there just to remind me, and towards the end I'll come back and hang one of the little Easter eggs off there. And I ended up gluing down the bunny onto the front cover. Okay, so in this bit we're just going into the first double page spread on the inside there. And I was still deciding whether I should use that little clump of flowers, but I didn't end up using it at all. And I went away and I cut out all the little pieces of ephemera that were in the kit. So that I had them ready to go. So I ended up making a fairly large pocket on the first page here, and then a large journaling card to go inside. And I'm using, this is a piece of coffee dyed cardstock. So it's not ordinary printer paper. It's a thin white cardstock that I have coffee stained. And I realised that I haven't done a video on how I actually coffee stain or tea stain my papers. But there are a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube, so I didn't think that was really necessary. But if any of you are interested to see how I coffee dye or tea dye, let me know and I'll do a video. So I've just got my circle punch here just to punch out that little sort of divot there, so you can tell that it's a pocket, and it's easier to get things in and out of the pocket if they're a little bit shorter. And I just trimmed it up to make it slightly larger because I haven't got a very big circle punch. So here's a piece of printed ledger paper. Pretty sure it's from one of my old letters and documents printable kits. So I'm covering part of the pocket with this as a background. I love using old ledger papers. They just look so nice in a vintage project. So here I'm trying to decide what I wanted to use in behind there. I actually ended up using a book page in the end. Yep, there we are. It's just folding and tearing it down to the size that I want. Yeah, this piece of book page didn't want to fit, so I grabbed another one. So I was tearing them around the little pocket, little divot there, and then I realised I had a gap, sort of a bit of a gap, but I ended up covering that with a little butterfly. Quite easy, you could just cover it up with a little butterfly or a little flower, something like that, if you've got any little gaps. I'm back to using my glue stick here. I think I must be talking about putting something on top of that little gap there. Yep, there we go. It's a little butterfly. So the butterfly that I'm using there is actually in this kit, the Easter kit, printable. But I do actually have a fairly large printable butterfly kit on my, I have a couple, but one's, I think it would have hundreds of butterflies because they're in like about 3 or 4 different sizes. They start off quite large, and then you've got the same butterflies sort of resized down a couple of times, and it's a lot of cutting out, but well worth it because you end up with a lot of butterflies. So I'll put the, if I remember, I'll put the link to that kit in my description also. So now I'm just adding some more little elements that I've cut out. Bit of book page underneath the little butterfly. I found this little piece of pink purpley lace that I had in my stash. I added that to the bottom. Trying to get my lid off here. I had a bit of trouble. My thumbs were, I've got arthritis in my thumbs. They were playing up a bit, but I got it off in the end. Just gluing the lace down, and then I've got one of the little journaling cards and a little sort of label just to add a bit of vintage touch there as well. Decoration. And then I'm ready to glue down my pocket. Always have a packet of baby wipes handy. They're so handy for wiping up the excess glue. So now I'm just getting the rest of that piece of coffee dyed cardstock to make a nice tall journaling card, and I just decorated the front so that you can write onto the back of it, or glue down photographs, or whatever you want to do. So I think I come back to that. I just sort of decide what I want to put on each page and then come back and finish them off. So I've got one of the pre-made printable pockets here, and I'm going to put that on the left-hand side. Just opening out now into that center spread and deciding what I want to do on that right-hand envelope. I ended up doing a tall belly band with the leftover scrap of coffee dyed paper there. Deciding which side I want that belly band. I ended up putting it here. Just cutting it down. I actually cut it quite crooked. I had to cut it a couple of times to get it straight. So just tearing it down to size. Still a little bit crooked. Just finding a piece of paper to cover it with now. So I ended up covering it with this old document, which is also another one of my printables. So just gluing it down at the top and the bottom. And I ended up adding a little bit of lace to this, making sure I haven't stuck it down onto the page. Okay, so I must have gone away and come back here. Yeah, no, sorry about that, guys. I don't think that part was meant to be in there. I'm not sure why. I've got a blank screen at the moment. This is my bad video editing. I'm sure it'll come back on in a second. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, I'm just decorating the pocket back into that first section now. Adding in a little cutout piece there, a little fussy cut from the kit, and one of the words. And then I've popped some things into the pocket. There we go. And then I just grabbed one of the large tickets or labels that's in there, and I decided I wanted to use it as a horizontal belly band. So I'm just gluing both ends, and then I'll pop a tag inside there. I didn't decorate the back of any of these. I printed them onto 160 GSM paper, so it's more like a cardstock than just printer paper. So yeah, I just left them as they were, and so you can write on the back. And now I'm adding one of the other little elements from the kit, plus a little piece of lace that I found. This looked like it's been coffee dyed, this little piece of lace. Just adds a little bit of something to the belly band. And just glue that down as well. And then I grabbed a piece of paper to put inside. And this is a piece of just foolscap lined paper that you can buy, which I have coffee dyed. It's a little bit tall, so I ripped down one of the ends and just folded it up so there's some paper in there to write on. But it's really nice once it's coffee dyed, this paper. It's actually kind of thin and crinkly, and it just turns out really nice. So that's the belly band. So in the centre here, I decided that I wanted to add a top pocket. So a pocket where you slide, or a tuck spot at the top where you slide in your little journal card from the bottom. So I'm just tearing down this page to fit. Now this is a little card that I cut out from the kit too. You could actually cut this separately and have two journaling cards, but I kept them joined together and created a card. So I'm just gluing the top and the two sides to create a top tuck spot. Added another little piece of lace at the top there. So now I'm just grabbing a few things out that I might want to use. So I ended up gluing that little word inside the card. Words, sorry. And that just tucks in there. So there's plenty of room in this little folio. When I'd finished it, it wasn't very bulky, so still plenty of room to put lots of stuff in there. with some more decisions going on here. I ended up turning this little journal card into a pocket. And I created another horizontal belly band up the top with this leftover piece of paper. So I glued down another little piece of that lace or broderie glaze down the bottom of the pocket there. Just softens everything up a little bit. It's really great if you want to do a shabby chic style. You usually add a fair bit of lace and fabric. And then I decided I'd pop in 3 of those little Easter eggs in there, which can be written on the back. Then I added a few little journaling cards into the belly band at the top there. And then I just put one of these little vintage snippets on there as a decoration. Decided that little pink piece at the bottom was a bit plain, so I added some flowers onto there. Now I wasn't sure where to put my little matchbook notebook, so I'm trying it in that pocket there. So I decided to use the other Easter egg as a little tuck spot. So now I'm wanting to decorate this journal card. I ended up gluing down some of this lovely paper. I think I left it as it was and just put that little piece of lace across the top. See you in a minute. Yeah, then I ended up adding words to the top. And then I glued down this little bunny to the bottom of the page of the journal card. And then I decided one of those little receipt sort of journaling cards would look nice with a piece of lace down the side. And I just popped it into that side pocket there. And I put the little vintage bunny journaling cards in that pocket. And now I'm hanging my charm. So I just got one of the little Easter eggs. It was the little pale pink one, if you watched the video. Um, I decided I would just hang that off the top there. And I ended up gluing the bunny down, as I said, with with some of the tacky glue, and it's stuck down really, really well. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to be making some more clay journal embellishments for sure, so that's coming up in my future videos. Okay, so I think that's it. I think I'm all done. I think the final bit is just a bit of a little flip through. And yeah, that's our little envelope folio done. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it inspires you. And yeah, I'll have all the printables linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.